Stop. This message could save you from investing your precious time into a true crime story that goes nowhere. Avoid that disappointment. You need True Crime Feed Podcast. Unlimited premium true crime curated for you. Find out about a female serial dater turned serial killer. The truth about the DARE program. Bizarre black markets, political murder plots, and a school for troubled teens so horrific it could be a Stephen King novel. True Crime Feed sifts through the archives from the past decade to select the best cases and gives you a quick overview sprinkled with a teensy bit of humor. Plus, a weekly top 3 power ranking for shows currently trending. And lets you know what shows to send down your podcast queue trapdoor. You know you want those thrill chills, so come and get them. Subscribe to True Crime Feed. That's True Crime FEED wherever you get your podcasts.
Ghosty fam, welcome to The Activity Continues, a podcast where 3 soul friends talk about all things paranormal. Ghosts, hauntings, psychics, movies and TV shows, especially The Dead Files, and other spooky and spooky adjacent things as well. We also like to interview people in the paranormal community, as well as past Dead Files clients and other interesting people. I mean, there's a lot of people we like to talk to.
Right, right.
Sometimes
like to talk.
Oh, heck yeah. And sometimes we'll even tell your stories.
Yeah, we should do a podcast.
Weird.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. We'd love to tell your stories, so send them in to us. I'm AP, and I'm going to let Amy tell you what we're doing this week.
Thanks, Amy. I'm the other Amy. And thank you, listeners, for joining us again. Tonight, we are talking to Laura Lane. She is the client from the Dead Files episode called Bound, which is season 4, episode 10. And I found her in the Dead Files Facebook group, one of the groups, and invited her to join us. And we're so happy she said yes, because her episode is crazy. So here's Megan to tell you what the synopsis of this one is.
Hi, everyone. So again, this is called Bound, and it originally aired September 13th, 2014. So 9 years ago, almost 10. Holy cow.
9.5.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So Steve and Amy travel to Fort Barnwell, North Carolina to investigate reports of disturbing paranormal activity at a terrified family's home. Steve unearths the bloody history of the property, while Amy confronts multiple entities with mysterious intentions, including a cluster of dead women trapped together in the afterlife.
Mysterious intentions? I think we know what those intentions are.
We know. So just a warning, if you have not watched the episode and you don't want any spoilers, pause, go watch it, and then come back and listen, because it's a really good one. We do have kind of a lot of content warning this week.
Yes.
So racism and KKK talked. Oh, yeah. Blatant racism. Rape, murder, suicide, a deadly house fire, indigenous displacement, and war. So we have a lot.
Yeah,
but
we do.
It's a good one. It's a really good episode. But yeah, if those aren't your jam, totally understandable.
Just throw it all in the cocktail mixer and let's go.
Yeah.
Press blend and let's make us a little margarita.
Okay, I was going with a cocktail shaker.
I know, but I like margaritas.
Which doesn't have a blade.
I know, but you got to blend it up. the margarita blade. No,
We just jumped from two different things.
Yeah, different planes. apparently.
that's true.
It's okay.
That's all right. We'll just wait for her and we can chit chat while we're waiting because I think we're ready to.
Okay, this is the spot where we talked for, I think, 13 minutes about TV shows. And I cut it because I didn't think that everybody that is listening to this wants to hear that. But I will tack it on at the end. So after we say goodbye to Laura, keep it rolling and you can hear our conversation about the TV shows that we talked about.
She's here.
She's here.
It's happening. Sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let her in.
Okay.
I'm going to stop coughing.
Are you though?
No.
I've got incense blowing in my face, so I might start.
I have
Sounds like a
nothing.
personal problem.
Yeah. Sounds like you want to get that checked out. Hi, Laura.
Hello. I made it.
Yay! I'm loving all the jewelry you have on. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I love
wow.
it.
Thank you. It's kind of like my signature thing. I live in a really small town, so everyone can hear me coming from the boots I wear and my necklace.
Perfect.
I love
Perfect.
it.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
I'm Amy, the one I've been texting you and whatever,
Hello.
messaging you. And then we have Megan and Amy, the other Amy, AP.
Hey.
Hello.
So
I can only see one.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. We're super excited to talk to you.
Also, please ignore that we're all bundled up. It is currently -3 degrees
so
here right now.
cold.
I do not go to Chicago after October anymore. It's not.
Especially Chicago, because you have the lake effect with the. No, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I ran on Christmas 3 weeks ago. I
That's
went for
terrible.
a 3-mile run in
Nope.
basically a long sleeve and cropped leggings.
I don't
was
understand that
It was
sentence.
50. It was 50.
There's a lot of things in there I say
There's-
no to.
I was in Costa Rica last
right.
week, and it's 63 here, and I was outside like in 30 layers.
Yeah.
How was Costa Rica?
Oh my God, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Never
How
been
long were
there.
you there?
5 days. Planning on moving there in 5
Okay.
years.
Oh,
so-
nice.
Okay, well, we're going to
With
stay
that-
in touch, and then that way we'll just come and hang out with you. That'll be
Absolutely.
fun. So, what was the highlight of your trip?
We went hiking down a mountain into a underground waterfall.
Holy crap.
Oh.
That
Wow.
sounds awesome.
that was-
That sounds amazing.
And everything's so different there. Like everyone's nice. Like for instance, got to the airport, our driver wasn't there yet. No one else tried to like take that guy's ride. They knew who he was, called him, and got
Wow.
him. And it's so
Yeah.
different. And then you come back here and you're like, man, everyone's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's cool.
that's really fun. Well, I'm glad you got home
Okay.
safely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh.
exciting, especially thinking about moving there.
That is.
Yeah. It's so
Is
cheap.
it?
My
Yeah.
ex-husband had a hostel there for a few years.
I wonder if that's the one I walked by.
Maybe. I don't know. He doesn't own it anymore,
Yeah.
I don't think, but yeah.
Cool.
Ex-husbands, yeah.
Men in
we'll
general.
get to that.
Next.
No, I do.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of sensitive shit in this episode. So if anything comes up that you don't want to talk about, feel free to say, nah, move on.
Yep.
And we will
Mhm.
move on. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my question for you is, are you guys okay learning the truth and like the nitty gritty
yeah.
of
Of
everything?
course, if you're willing to
Okay,
share, that's what we
awesome.
want.
Yes, all
Whatever
there.
you want to talk about is,
whatever you're
I mean, you
comfortable
have the
with.
floor. Yeah, whatever you're comfortable with. Like Amy said, if there's something that you don't want to talk about, that's fine.
Yep.
You're driving the
Okay.
bus. We're just passengers.
Okay. You just lead the way, and then I'll take the
Okay,
wheel.
okay, sounds
Perfect.
good. Okay, so the one thing that I always want to make sure we ask everybody, and I know that your answer is probably going to be a lot of things, but if there's anything that you want to make sure that our listeners know, that is that you want to set a record straight, that you want to tell the story the way it was, not the way it was on the show, anything like that. And I think from some of your other stuff, you've said that there are some things that you would like to clear up.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to make sure that we get to that and not run out of time. So what do you think is the most important thing that you would like people to know that maybe they wouldn't know by just watching the episode?
I would say if you go back to the very first seasons of the Dead Files and rewatch those and then kind of follow how it continued, it just got weirder and weirder, and then aliens and all this stuff. They took away the real story.
Okay.
And the real story was amazing. My ex-husband's, so I live in a small town now, but I lived in an even smaller town there. So his grandfather who built that house, married, he's in the first interracial marriage. So that was in 1991. So crosses and things were burned in the yard. And because both of his grandmothers were still alive, we didn't want to talk about it. So where I start crying, I'm not crying because I'm upset there. I'm crying because we didn't say anything about him. And then they flipped that script because I feel like during that time, everything's been really racially heated, I want to say, for the past 10 years. And I felt like they just needed to go there. But I'm like, gosh, people, do the math. My granddad had been in the KKK when that fire happened. He wasn't even born yet.
Oh my God, yes, because they 100% spun it to where like the grandfather, you know, maybe did something to, you know, people of color or indigenous people.
Yeah.
And that,
I did get
I don't like that.
No, and I guess I watched it again this morning and thought it said the great grandfather too in there in the 1949 one or whatever.
No, and it was his grandpa.
Okay.
That died in 2007. So I became friends with one of the producers, and we talked after I watched the show, and he had already left. And I was like, you know, we had a great story there. Like Amy nailed all these things that were insane.
Because she's amazing.
She's amazing. And, you know, she's the one who got me to, you know, she was like, you're your problem here. And, you know, behind the scenes, what people don't realize is when you film the reveal, it's not short.
No, it's several hours.
Yeah, every person we've talked to has said it's like 6 hours.
We sat from 5:30 until about 2:30 in the morning.
God.
So all that's condensed into 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So she really just, I was the problem. I already knew it. I knew it when I was little. You need to open back up. Don't be scared. This is how you'll find the person who's going to come to your house. And, you know, and all of that happened. So that was like really cool. But then scared, we were just flabbergasted. And it was one of my favorite shows. And I am sorry to say that I no longer watch the Dead Files because of the way they edited it.
You should go watch this last season if you really want to have a good laugh at a few of them. We've pulled apart a lot of things that we started catching on to, and now going back and watching some of the other episodes.
And honestly, we're very, you know, we're kind of being disillusioned by it as well. I mean, it's especially since Amy left, and you know, talking to clients has really opened our eyes. And this is blatant. Like, this really makes me lose a lot of respect for the show by painting a person as a potential, like, having racist tendencies when they apparently were one of the first interracial marriages, or the first. Like,
Yeah.
that's
That
disgusting.
was the whole tone of the episode.
The church out there was named after his
Oh my
family.
God.
And then he got exiled from the church after marrying
Mhm.
her. So when he passed away, the house was given to someone who couldn't afford, is a very large home, and they could not afford there. It sat on the market for 5
Wow.
years because one would live there.
Because of the cost.
No, the name
No,
and recognition.
because
What?
Yep.
Wow.
yeah,
That's
I remember when
disgusting.
That's in our
Yeah.
lifetime.
I
Yeah,
know.
That is
yeah,
horrendous.
yeah.
That's sick. That's
Well, not only our lifetime, but if he died in 2007, that was not
Right. She
long
said that
ago
the marriage was
happened.
1991, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And people out there, of course, are like, oh, they just wanted his money, or she just wanted his money. No, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's not even a year into their marriage, knowing she would get nothing, and she was by his side at the end. She was a saint.
Oh.
So that's what makes it upsetting, is because she was a saint.
That really
Wow.
pisses me off.
Yeah, that is not at all what I thought when I watched
it. Makes you think who was editing that, and did they have some sort of agenda? Obviously, an agenda for drama. We've called that out a lot this past season.
But there's a lot of drama by having the first interracial marriage. Like, why wouldn't they just go with that?
Exactly. It would have been, I think, in the times that we're in now, that's an important thing to share.
Of course. It is, especially with all the hatred and racism that's really coming out.
Because that was, I'm guessing they were at your guys' place sometime in the winter of 2013, 2014.
It was May of 2014.
Yep, the episode was September. Yep. So just curious if how that may have potentially changed either way, even stronger the way that it was showing, or the opposite way if it had been 6 years later, 7 years later.
Yeah. I wonder if because it was the South, they wanted to play into the racism that the South is known for. Not saying that it's accurate.
Not just the South, but because of, I'm on the eastern coast of North Carolina, and Cajuns, all that type of thing. So I really do feel like they just took that and kind of ran with it in their own way. Yeah.
That's really upsetting. And it really makes me question the little integrity that the show had left. And that was all the way back in season 4.
Yeah.
So they wanted me to do one of those revisits.
Yeah.
Nope. No, I was like, absolutely not. And they even had the producer that I had become friends with call me.
We've heard that before. Someone else said that.
Absolutely not. I was like, there's no way. I mean, I don't want to cuss, but I mean, no way
if you want to.
No way in fucking hell I would ever work with them ever again. And that is
sad. Really sad.
It was just
especially because Amy is so genuine. Like, she genuinely wants to help people. And I think that's part of why. I mean, we've talked about our theories, but we believe that's, why she left the show.
She's alluded to that in her in her messaging that she's put out and stuff, not that she's fully talking about things, but that what she was looking for and wanting was not
the direction that they were going.
Yeah. Which is really sad.
And
that's really sad.
Not in watching the show, but I have a lot of clients who, they'll come in and they'll say, so I was binge watching the show, and I'm like, yes, it was me. And they talk about what it's like now. And my ex-husband and I are still best friends. So we were just talking about it the other day when I told him I was doing this. And I said, I wonder if that's why Amy left the show. And he was like, Steve was cranky the whole time too. Hilariously cranky. But it was like there was a lot going on that made him angry. And then a lot of things too that they just did while they were at the house in general that I just was like, wow, how unprofessional.
We've heard from others that they've left their house a mess, that it's not just Matt respectfully taking things down or covering things. They show a few of that, and then it's the crew going in and they just leave a giant mess.
Yep. I mean, they broke picture frames.
We've heard that too.
So it's like to go dust, and it's like things were just falling apart. But Matt, like you said, he just does the one shot. And then it's about 13 people that they have who just come in your house, muddy shoes, they don't care. And then they actually make your house dirty.
Like, this is like common
for the behind the scenes. They'll take the beds that are made and make it messy. They like open my closet doors and made all the hangers look crazy. And
What's
I'm
the
like,
point of that?
Drama. They want drama.
Yeah.
That's not drama, though.
No, but it is in the way that they're looking to make you guys look like low-level type people who are racist and all this sort of stuff. Like, and I will say, the way that they cut this episode, like, it was like, I'm really curious to hear what Laura has to say, because it definitely comes across in the manners that you have described.
I even messaged them and I was like, I bet that grandfather was in the KKK or something, just how they edited it.
Well, and I was like, he must be in turmoil for the way he treated people. If he's still there and concerned about, like, because Amy made the connection about, like, he's concerned about the way people were treated, but that was just that way.
And I can clarify that, because the medium that I met, who came and spent a week at the house, and then she actually coached me in my mediumship, which I've been doing.
That's phenomenal.
Wow. It's now, I don't charge. I think it's a gift, and I just share it. But oh my God, I have COVID, COVID.
No.
So I lose memory super fast. So it was
about the grandfather and how his that connection to feeling like people got treated poorly.
So what it was of course, Chris, we kind of lived on a family compound, I would say, the most. So he lived about 200 yards up the road from his grandfather. Because of that stigma, his dad was like, well, you just shouldn't go up there. So he didn't get to watch him or his brother grow up. So he stuck around in Liza's room a lot, and she would draw. She was like 2 years old, and she would draw shape. She'd call him the shaky man. And I always knew immediately. So when Celeste came down, she said, everyone else, like, I'm close, everyone who's here, she was like, there's so many people, they're just passer throughs, no one's staying except for Grandpa. And she said, we're going to seal everything up, but Grandpa's not leaving. He wants to watch Liza grow up. And she said, please don't sit in that chair every night in her room. It scares her. And that was the first night she slept in her room the whole night.
Wow.
So,
that's sweet. I'm so mad at how they disparaged his memory.
Yeah.
That is so disrespectful.
Do you want to share his name and his wife's name and just at all? I mean, you don't have to. We can cut that out. So.
No, I wouldn't want to. Yeah. Just because she is still alive, and I love her.
Yeah. I just wanted to be respectful and honor their memory, or his memory, and her
legacy,
life memory. Living thing.
So
I don't know what that's called.
Since you left the house, I mean, have you had any further, paranormal activity, or kind of where are you at with that right now?
So I live in New Bern, North Carolina, and it was actually the original capital of North Carolina. Civil War battles, Indians, all that stuff. And everything downtown is very historic. So the first building that my salon was in, I kind of opened it during COVID. I was expecting to open a salon, and I was stressed. And I really thought, like, oh God, I've lost my ability. I've just closed myself off from everyone and everything, that I don't have my ability anymore. And so I do not see ghosts like in front of me. It's a feeling. And then, you know, they move to the left or the right. So I know if it's male or female. It's like flashcards in my head. And if you watch other ghost shows where they use like the ghost box. So if I play ambient noise, I can hear it.
Okay.
And then the only other way I see them is in a mirror. So I had a client and she was like, tell me about the little boy. And I was like, what little boy? I was like, I was like, I really think I lost my gift. And weeks later, I'm, you know, cutting hair, I look up in my mirror and I see him, and I about tumbled over.
Yeah.
And fell on the ground. And he would, he just was a jokester. He died of yellow fever. And the apartment underneath me was like, so there was like a shop in the front where they had their store. Then they had an apartment. Then I had a secret staircase up to my salon, and that was where they lived up there. So he was really just a little jokester. I would come in and all of my products for sale, all my retail products, they would be just sitting correctly on the floor.
Oh my God, I'd shit my pants.
And then down the hallway, there was a florist, and she had all these decorations on the wall out there. So if I was working late, I start hearing like bonk, 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 and everything falling off the wall.
Shit the pants.
I was standing outside one night, and one of my girls comes running down, and she's like, the bathroom door just opened and closed and slammed 10 times. And I was like, I'll be there in a minute.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Megan's sitting here, and I would probably be like, for real, are you doing this again? Couldn't you wait till we're gone? Do you have to be scared on everybody right now?
It was one night, me and my friend were out drinking, and I didn't want to let's just run in the salon and use the bathroom. So we ran up there, and it was down a long hallway, and it was dark. I didn't turn the hallway light on. And she was like, there, little boy?
Nope.
And I was like, technically, but he's not here.
I mean, he's yes, but no.
So was your friend like somebody that normally sees things like that, or was he just that strong that anybody can see him?
So I've always known that she could really develop an ability, because anyone who's close with me that kind of has a sense will speak for me. Which is really
Your
nice.
light draws them in.
Because my long COVID affects my cognitive ability. So sometimes I can't get my words out. So then people just for me. I'm like, thank you.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh my God.
No, there's like-minded connection that goes on between almost like heartstrings that go out and they find you, because that's what they're like, oh, you're my kindred spirit. I need to be able to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. And I think being a twin too.
Oh, that's right.
And we call it twin syndrome. We're weird. We don't know how to make friends because we never had to. So now that we live so far apart, I do feel like all the friends I do have, they've all come to me for certain reasons. Because I don't let people really know me past the surface. Just a very select few.
Sure. Yeah.
That makes sense.
That resonates with me. My sister and I are not twins, but we're very close, and went to college together, played soccer together, like lived together, just still best friend type thing. But yeah, there's shared friend group.
Yeah. Yep. Always.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh.
So going back to the episode, there was one part that I kind of giggled a little bit about, and it was with Chris, because Steve was interviewing him and was like, I heard the TV turned on and it must have scared the crap out of you or something like that. And it was like, that happened to me. And I was like, why is that making, like was this happening more than once? Was this something that was really like out of the, like, I was at a hotel.
All the time.
That's what I figured, but it sounded like the way Steve brought it up was like, it happened one time. And I'm like, okay. I mean, the TV turned on.
So, and they had cut 2 scenes that had my parents in them. One was, so we moved in the house, and he loved, his granddad loved that house, and it was a time warp into 1974.
I bet.
Nothing changed. Nothing. Not in the yellow fridge.
Wow. Nice.
So
I think we call that harvest gold.
Oh.
Yeah, it is. It is harvest gold. Yes, it is. I even had harvest gold pebble of like flooring. Did you know that they had harvest gold
I did
pebbles?
not know that.
Wow. Yeah.
They do. So one of the first things I did was just I had this wagon wheel light fixture, and I hadn't had my dad do all my light fixtures. And my dad was doing the bathroom, the one where my daughter would always talk to. What did they say his name was?
Was that Lenny or Lonnie?
Yeah, and I'll have to tell you a funny story about what happened the night after the reveal in a minute. So my dad's in there doing that. He's holding the wires. The house already made him uncomfortable. They get ripped out of his hand and go all the way through the wall.
What?
Nope.
Okay, that's a nope to me.
He freaked
Of
out.
course.
He said, "Let me finish this, and I will never work on this house again." And then the bedroom that they said was the room of death. My mom would always come and help me with the house. And when we were redoing all the kitchen cabinets, we were taking all the doors off. The TV kept going on and off. The fan on the hood of the stove kept turning on. And that night, she was like, all night, someone was poking me in my
Chris
shoulder.
said that, or your
So,
mom?
my mom. So those are 2 scenes that were cut, and they never stayed in that house again.
I don't
after
blame
that.
them.
Yeah.
I'm team mom and dad.
Yeah.
I'm team mom and dad.
Yeah.
I will not.
You're like, nope.
Yeah. For someone who's
Yeah.
really interested in this, it scares the shit out of me.
And is Chris still at that house? And does he still have experiences?
So it's funny you say that, because he did not want to leave. And it was 35 minutes outside of town. So when I say it was in the woods, it was in, I gotta say it like this, it was in the dying woods. I don't live out there, except people whose families done live out there for hundreds of years. And I couldn't take it. I'm a city girl. I don't want to drive 35 minutes if I forgot a gallon of milk.
Which really, it's, an hour and a half with there and back. I mean, that's a good chunk of your day.
And I was just very depressed out there. And it was, he would always say, one more year. And then I finally said, me and the kid, or are you living out here with your family? He chose out there. As I moved and started dating someone, he moved into town. So nobody lived there anymore.
Of course he did.
Wait, that's where you could meet new people again?
Yeah, we sold that house in, let's see, we sold it a couple years after we both moved out. So we would have sold it in 2021.
Oh, okay.
Do the new owners know? I have no idea.
Well, maybe they're not having any experiences because, the grandfather was really connected to you guys.
Well, we really, when Celeste came, we did a lot of things and never had a problem in there again. Awesome. The only time I was scared after that was the last day they're cleaning out the house. Chris and I had gotten into an argument, and I thought he had come back. And I was in this closet, so I couldn't see down the hall. And I heard the door open, and I smelled cigarette smoke. And I'm like, oh, smoking in the house because you're, I'm just being me.
Sassy.
And, Scorpio. I was like,
yeah, Scorpio.
So I leaned my head out of the closet. I'm like, what in the hell? So then I'm like, what the? And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, where'd you go? He wasn't there.
Wow.
I said,
Had you
Zodiac.
ever smelled cigarette smoke before? I feel like they didn't cover that, did they? And I just forgot.
Always. So that was part of what we talked about, always smelling
Okay.
cigarette smoke all the
Okay.
time. The funny story about after we did the
Yeah,
reveal,
with Lonnie.
I my daughter was young, so she had those alphabet
Yep.
letters in the tub. And that night I went in there, I was like, "What's up, Lonnie?" And woke up the next morning, I was in there doing something, and I look in the mirror. All the letters are in the tub except for backwards, so I could read it in the mirror. It said hi.
Oh my God.
Fuck no.
So I immediately wrote Amy because she gave me her email address. She was like, "Yeah, don't do that."
Yeah,
Don't-
I appreciated his obsessive love, I think they called it,
Mhm.
or just a guy who didn't know what no meant. But
Probably a guy who didn't know what no meant.
I mean, there's a
That's-
lot of those. So
oh yeah,
Yeah.
So a guy.
They always say, "Oh, I wish I could meet an old-fashioned guy." Oh, do you? Because they're
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
Sometimes
they'll-
even worse. I mean, it depends how old fashioned you mean.
God.
Yeah.
But he would. There was another bathroom in the house that we didn't ever use, and I would come home from work. The water would be running. There'd be handprints everywhere. So he just really, really loved to hang out in the bathrooms.
what a creep.
But it made my daughter love to brush her teeth. So
You
I
know
guess,
what?
it-
I'll take it because my son, who's 3, just sucks on the toothpaste.
Yep. It's a struggle
is.
bus. But yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
that. So
I mean, silver lining, I guess.
mhm. You always have to find
You
a
do.
positive
There
in
you
the
go.
negatives.
Yeah.
You had somebody, this Celeste, came in and did what she wanted to do at that house and got rid
Mhm.
of everybody except Grandpa. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
And
Yep.
then so you stayed there fine, coexisting with Grandpa until you decided you wanted to move to the city.
Yeah, so I moved to this. It's a village. I moved into the village in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And your daughter hasn't had any experiences, or does she have abilities as well?
She did, and just like me. So when I was her age, I watched Unsolved
Mhm.
Mysteries. I thought it was so I would sleep with my bed. Like my bed was always against the
Yep.
wall. I'd face the wall. I'd build like a comforter, like
Oh
pagoda
my God, you
behind
faced
me.
the wall? You were brave. I never did because I was.
Well, because I could feel the eyes.
Oh.
And
Okay.
could feel that tingle. And I told my mom, I was like, I feel like aliens are watching me. And I probably said that up until I was around 9 or
Okay.
10. And when she was younger, she would say, like, what's that Indian doing right there? Who's
Yeah.
that? Da, 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 da. And she does remember, because they did cut another scene about a woman who would always come in her room. Still don't know who it
Mhm.
was, but she remembers
Really?
her. So she didn't. She remembers. So I told her, I said, just like Amy told me, it's my choice whether or not I open up again, and it's my
Yeah.
decision if I don't want it to be negative. Because I was like, I'm not dealing with demons and
Right.
shit. I don't want to do that. So
I was
do
going to
not.
ask you about that because it sounded like a lot of more positive experiences, and you got your trickster little boy around, but not something that you're like, oh, this is not a good thing. He's just facetious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, it's like we have a little group in town. It's called Ladies of New Bern. And someone posted, is anyone a medium? And I said yes. And I did a couple readings at my house. And just being able to give that closure. And just for someone to be like, how in the fuck would you know that? Because this woman's son had died in a firework accident. And I was like, my head, I can't figure it out. And then I was finding like a boom, but it's not a gun. And I was like, firework, but it was an accident. And he's embarrassed about it. And so it's like I never charged her. The next day she showed up with some homemade
Oh,
cookies.
that's
That
sweet.
is so cute. Yeah.
So that's what I love.
Yeah.
That's what I love to do
Yeah.
most.
It is, having been somebody who's gotten some closure in that manner, it is so incredible when you have those connections that you're like, there's no way you would have known that she cursed me out all the time when we didn't talk. And that she's saying sorry about it now.
I have scared the shit out of Chris more times than I could count on one hand. I am very close with a friend of his that I never met, who passed away in Afghanistan. And I would be like, well, Chris is here and other Chris. And I'd be like, because he always talks to him at work, like in the truck, because he's a superintendent. So he just sits around all day. And I would, one time I was like, why do I see Vanna white? And it was like this huge inside joke. And he's like, there is no way possible you could know about me. Like, how the fuck did you know that? And I'll do mannerisms and stuff. And he'll freak out. He'll be like, I gotta leave. And I get that a lot from men, especially. And so when they want to kind of test me, like, I don't promote myself. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm a medium. They'll say, hey, I heard through so-and-so, and they'll want to test me. And usually about like 10 minutes in, they go, fuck you. They walk away. But they always come back because they always want to.
Once they're prepared, they need to step off for a little bit and think about what they're doing and then go, hey, I need to ask her something.
It's the testing of it. I used to teach middle school science, and the boys for sure always would test the boundaries. You got to push. How far can I push? And I'll never forget, I had a student, and it was a year and a half after this incident occurred. And he's like, Miss Piersack, how did you know it was me? How did you know that somebody whispered? Actually, he goes, it was me, but how did you know that I whispered that science sucks in the back of the classroom? I said, because I trained myself to hear all of it. And he's like, they couldn't even hear me across the table. How did you know? And I gave the whole class homework because nobody would fess up to it. And he goes, I kept quiet for a year and a half because I was terrified of how this would come out. I was like, he was just like, he was in the back corner furthest away from me, but somehow I heard it clear as day. And I was like, nope, we're not doing this now.
Yeah.
But they want to test the boundaries because they want to see how far they can get because they figure they can get you to screw up. If I can get you to screw up, then I can prove that you're wrong.
That you're fake. Yeah. You're not who you see. You're not a real medium. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to tell you, like, if you say in your head, like, if you're really here, make her say this. I'm going to tell you, like, something completely off the wall that makes no sense to me, but it's going to get to you and make you be like, I need to go shit my pants or some shit.
That's me.
Megan's always shitting her pants.
I'm always. I just
poster child for depends.
Fruit.
Little side note, Chris. Always
Fruit of the loom. I keep them in business, just constantly buying new undies.
Should really work on that depends contract.
Listen, okay, I'm working on it. We're in negotiations. It's not just cut and dry, you guys. All right.
Are you sure?
Dry.
It feels like it is.
But
I'm here all week, folks.
At least we make ourselves laugh.
It's true.
Yeah, we do that. Yeah. So is there anything else about like behind the scenes kind of stuff you want to tell us about? What, you already talked a little about what Amy and Steve are both like, but do you have anything else like that or production?
They really do not, Steve and Amy do not communicate at all.
That's good to know.
That's true.
I don't think they do now either.
You do not see her until you're literally walking out for the reveal. So I'm walking down the hallway and we make eye contact. And I'm like, shit, that drawing's going to be me. This is about me because it was all over her face. Her face had no deliverance. It was, I have seen you the whole time. So that was really cool.
When she kept saying at the reveal, when she kept saying, and the woman here.
Yeah, I know.
And she's like,
I see a woman with dark hair.
We all know who she's talking about.
Yeah. Oh my God, she even got like the little, when I was skinny and you could see the little cleft in my chin that was even there. I was like, what in the hell? But she also, like, after we filmed, we went outside and she said, you know, when I came out here, she said, through the woods right here, I kept getting drawn and I wanted to walk over there. She said, was there a structure there? What happened? And I said, yes. That was Lane's original home. It was a block house. And after he built the big house, someone was renting it and their daughter hung herself. So this feeling, because she was saying it was very sad, and but she went over there. Yeah. So.
Sorry, I have to keep turning my heater on and off because it gets too hot, and then I get too cold, and then I get too hot.
Story of my life.
It's a struggle.
That sounds like my salon. I'm always hot and my girls are always cold. And I said, well, one day, you know, we're going to have to call the hospital and say, hey, they all have frostbite and I'm having a heat stroke. So.
I made the decision to take my cloak off. So I'm like, I'm sticking with it. I'm not grabbing it back, but I'm paying for it right now. But
yeah, I've got my donut bathrobe on and I'm so sorry, Laura, but it's just too cold here. It is not.
I turned off my space heater because I didn't want it to make noise for the recording.
Oh, wow.
So, but it's okay. This is quite warm, so I'm all right.
Yeah.
Do you guys not have like heat pumps? No, I'm kidding.
It can't keep up. It's like what? It's like 2 below or something.
It's -3 right now, but let's see what's the wind chill, because that's not the wind chill. We're under a wind chill advisory. So if you're ever wanting to move up here, don't.
But you know what? We don't have a lot of venomous things that will kill you.
That's true.
No, you know, I'm from Ohio, have family in Michigan too. My dad's from Michigan. And yep, I just don't do that anymore.
So
it feels like
I stay below the Mason-Dixon line, even though no one here understands what sarcasm is.
It feels like -28 degrees with the wind chill right now.
Oh, good.
So we're brisk.
Dogs, you're not going out again tonight. I hope you can hold it.
Oh,
thank you. No.
Talon, I have 4 dogs at home here, and she now has her sweatshirt back on. She's a lab, but she is a princess. And when it's this cold out and when it's been really snowy in the past, like she will go outside and lock eyes with you to go potty and be like, bitch, you better let me back in. Immediately.
Who's the 4th? Yep. You have Talon, Wesley, Kiri,
and Bodie.
Old
man Bodie. There were 5.
I had 4 and now I have 3. So, yeah.
We just have 2 cats. We're cat people.
I have 4
here.
dogs also.
I'm in the minority, but that's fine. I'll represent all the cat people.
That's fine. I used to have cats.
Amy used to have cats and then she abandoned them.
Megan, just quickly knock your microphone off the desk. That'll represent cat people.
It's true. But I have to maintain full eye contact with you the whole time. The whole time.
Yeah.
And while I do that, it's clear I'm also judging you.
Yeah. Of course.
Obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have to wear my people watchers outside my sunglasses always.
Yes.
State
Fair, Minnesota State Fair, one of my favorite people watching places. You just go, you grab a beer and you sit down and you play your bingo card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matching outfits, somebody wearing overalls without a shirt on.
Oh, God.
Yeah. High heels, someone wearing high heels.
Oh,
bonus points if the overalls without the shirt on only has one
Has
strap.
one. Yep. There are truly like Minnesota State Fair bingo cards out there.
My older sister lived in Minnesota.
Okay.
And
is she still here?
She passed away.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
But is from complications due to cancer, not cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So we were actually going to go to the Minnesota State Fair when I took her back home.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it is a good fair.
It is a good fair. Yeah.
If you like that sort of thing. It's a little too people-y for me. So
I would go and just sit with Amy and watch people. I wouldn't want to like walk around or anything.
I know where all the good beer and all the good food are.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Like my salon is located on the most popular street downtown on the most popular block.
Nice. So
when we have festivals and I'm at work, like I'm always looking in my mirror. And like me and my girls, like we'll just like all like my mom ear will turn on. That's part of the conversation, and I'll look up like, oh my god, that matches it. Whoa, and you just hear things. And so everyone says, what do you like? Do you like it better? Because we used to be upstairs. Do you like it better down here? I'm like, hell yeah! The people watching is amazing.
Yeah, people watching should be an Olympic sport. It's the
I
best.
would probably win the gold.
Yeah.
So.
I was going to say, I could do really well at that one.
That's one sport that I would be good at. Yeah.
Man, we should make that. We should start like a petition.
Oh my God, we should.
At least gold stars all around.
Yeah. So, anything else that you want to share with us, Laura? Other than how amazing we are, I know. Just teasing. I'm just teasing.
No, we all should get together next time I'm up north.
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
100%.
Which I normally go work in New York in like March, April-ish. So I might be up there.
Love New York.
Fun.
But I have no plans to go to Minnesota in the winter.
I mean,
because my mom and sister went there, and my twin said she was like being blown across the parking lot, and my mother had to rescue her.
Yes.
And I was like, no, thank you.
Most people don't come to Minnesota in the winter either.
It does get really hot and humid here in the summer. So
yeah, I wouldn't come in the summer either. It's dreadful. I'll take the winter over the summer any day.
No, I'll take the summer any day of the week. No,
I hate being hot.
No.
It was beautiful in the summer when I was up there.
It's beautiful, you guys.
You must have been here on the day it wasn't humid.
You guys are mean to Minnesota. What has she ever done to you?
You've never been to Eastern North Carolina. You don't know about humidity. Humidity is when you do your hair, you go outside,
and it's frizzy again.
But you want to look like Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
And you're swimming to your car in the air.
In here in the winter, we have from your car to your house door is your nostrils freeze.
Yes.
But in the summer, from here to your car door is you're dripping sweat by the time you get there, and you have to reapply makeup.
Fog up.
Oh, the glasses fog up in the. That's in the summer.
So we have the
winter
extremes.
Too.
I love fall and spring. Come in the fall and the spring. It's beautiful.
We don't have a spring ever.
For both days, it's beautiful. Both days.
We actually had a really nice fall, though.
If you come to North Carolina, you get all 4 seasons in 1 week.
Sometimes in a day up here, too. I think Minnesota and North Carolina are very similar in some of that weather format, other than we get super colds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, it'll snow and be 70 the next day. I mean, it's all the time.
I have beef with North Carolina because I drove through there once and we stopped to look over like a mountain range or something. It was gorgeous.
Did you pick up a hitchhiker under the signs that say don't pick up a hitchhiker?
No, I did not pick up a hitchhiker. But I saw something in the grass and I was like, oh my God, that's really cool. And my friend goes, that's a jumping spider. And I'm like, that's not true. Spiders don't jump. And it fucking
Have you never met a wolf spider?
It fucking jumped. And I'm done with North Carolina. Dead to me.
Honey,
that's all it takes.
I hate to tell you, we have wolf spiders that do the same thing. And they get...
We've had them.
I know. I used to catch wolf spiders before I was afraid of spiders.
Oh, no.
Nope. I'm sorry.
My mother thought I was in a drunk driving accident one night because I called her crying at 2:30 in the morning. And I was sitting on my kitchen island holding my dog because my house was just built and they cleared the woods. And I got home and 50 all ran out. So she came over there all pissed as shit. She grabbed the vacuum cleaner with the hose and just watched me. She didn't say anything. She just looked at me.
Your mom is my hero. Your mom is my hero.
Oh, she was my hero too. Yeah.
I would have just lived and died on that island. That would have been my home. And they would have just found me curled in the fetal position. Because no.
Yeah.
I'd honestly take ghosts over spiders.
I was just you took it right out of my mouth. I was like, I'd rather see a ghost in a mirror any other day of the week than have to deal with that.
Yeah. Don't, not that I'm saying come by, you guys, but I'm just saying if it's one or the other.
But that is one problem I do have living in such a historical town is, and then being a hairstylist with a mirror in front of me, it took me a long time to realize this. I'm always looking at the front door
Mhm.
because I'm seeing people that aren't there in the mirror.
Yeah.
When you see them, are you able to distinguish them from the living, or do they look pretty similar?
Yes. It's like yes and no, but I can't. It's just like I know they're there, and I see like a part of them.
Okay.
But then it's like I realize, oh, that's not a real person.
Okay.
Yeah, they're never like a fully
like a full formed
Yeah.
apparition. Yeah. Okay.
Or- Now my twin sister, she can see them like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she can see shadow people, and I cannot.
Are you guys identical or fraternal?
We're fraternal, but we're mirror twins.
Okay.
So I on one side, and hers is on the other, and then I'm left-handed and she's right-handed.
Really?
Okay.
So it's in a mirror.
I
Yeah.
love it. That's
so
amazing.
cool.
So she can see them like fully formed, but you only kind of get like the peripheral.
She can't talk. She can't communicate.
Okay.
She can like feel. She can kind of feel when they're around. Where I'm like, oh God. And normally I don't have a problem when like I walk into a house. I'm just like, oh hey, like everything's well. But sometimes when they don't want you there, when Amy says they make you sick, they make you sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they don't want you there,
you're gone.
Yeah.
Did you guys? And I'm so sorry. I have poor memory. So I sincerely apologize if it was talked about. But when you were in the house, did you guys ever get like physically nauseous or sick, or was it just more of, what they were doing?
I had a headache all the time.
Okay. Well, that's right.
So
She
that
did
was
talk about that.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if it was in the reveal or
sorry.
not. I only watched it. I've only seen the show twice.
She did mention the
Me too.
headaches.
But I would leave and go work in Greensboro for about maybe like a week to 2 weeks. And when I would get back, it was just, migraines that made me vomit.
No. Oh my God.
Yeah. It was just a constant headache. And then I would get so angry. The first few days I was back, I was just pissed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Does Chris, does he have any ability to see them or hear them, or is he like a...
He does. And that's only something that he started to talk about recently.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be hard to come to terms with, I think. So at least for me.
Because, I tell him, everything's energy, and, a lot of, hauntings, I have to explain it's, almost like a record, like a record record.
Like residual.
So a lot of hotels where they have haunted ballrooms, it just doesn't pick up the bad.
Right.
It picks up the good. And I was telling him, like, I can get so mad. Like, I got mad at one of my employees, and I was using her hair dryer, and I broke it. And it blew up. And I was so mad one day that he made the lights on my car flash.
Really? Wow.
Out. And that's when he finally started to open up about it. And he said, one time when you're talking to so-and-so, his friend that, I saw him standing behind you.
Really?
And he said, after that, I've been seeing things and feeling things. And then that shit just happened. He was like, why did I all of a sudden just see my dead friend standing behind you? He's like, he didn't look at me. He's like, he didn't look at me, but I saw him standing there the way you said he was, talking to you and doing the mannerisms.
Wow.
And he said, that was a night where he was like, stop, you need to stop right now. And he didn't tell me why until then.
Okay.
So
that would be very jarring.
Wow.
So I could understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, what made him suddenly start seeing him. Maybe he just was...
We were actually doing shrooms.
Sure.
Helpful.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Opens those gates right up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
Wow.
So I'm curious too, like when you talk about seeing them in in mirrors and that sort of things.
Mhm.
Do you see any form of recognition, like making eye contact or anything where they're like, oh, you can see me?
No.
Okay.
Nope, never.
I mean, obviously that's what we see in movies and TV shows.
Right.
So
There was only one instance like that,
Mhm.
and it was right when I was starting to open up. And I woke up and my room was fairly pitch black.
Mhm.
I woke up and there was this face right in front of me, and the mouth opened all the way.
Fuck no.
It didn't scream, but I screamed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So whatever that was, yeah, that thing knew. Yeah.
That's
But I've never,
not okay. I don't like
it was
that.
the scariest. I mean, it was horrible. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I just,
I would too. That's the appropriate
Mhm.
response.
yeah.
Oh
Yes.
my God, that's scary.
Yeah, that is scary.
Yeesh.
No, thank you.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. It was, I mean, I remember it very clearly.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I bet.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
like, just like in the movies, the mouth opens just right up.
I would say that would be hard to forget.
Did you ever
Mhm.
figure out who that was? Like, what was their purpose? What did they come to scare you for?
I had, no,
No.
God, actually, now I remember. So after the editing of the episode, we would kind of make fun of it. And if we passed it on the television, we would be like, oh, spooky dooky. And like, and I was watching an older episode and Chris came in. He was like, oh, spooky dooky dooky. And I fell asleep and woke up to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That was
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spooky dooky for
Uh,
sure.
Maybe it was one of
Yeah.
the spirits from the episode that was on that show that
Maybe.
night.
I don't know. Maybe that was the ooey gooey man. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, the tar guy.
Mm,
Our guy.
mm,
Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, this is all very interesting.
Yes. It is
Love it.
always good to talk to people who are on the show and get your viewpoint. And I'm really glad you
Mhm.
cleared that up
Yeah,
because
I am too.
Yeah.
that I know I've said this multiple times, but it really pisses me off the way that they made him seem like he was racist.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it was the furthest thing from the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's just, I'm like, God damn,
Yeah.
there was such a wonderful
Mhm.
story there. 'Cause there's so much more.
Mhm.
And I remember the second time I rewatched it, it might have been a year ago. And I was like, holy shit.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
forgot that.
Mhm.
Mm.
I
And
was like, I
maybe
forgot that happened.
maybe the reason
So-
that he was staying behind because he felt people were treated wrong was because people were being treated horribly just for who they were.
Well, and she
Mhm.
said that, he didn't get to watch his grandkids grow up because the family didn't want the stigma,
Mhm.
Mhm.
which
And that was
that's just that breaks my heart.
yeah, it does.
Because
Yeah.
like I think about with my grandparents. I just lost both of my grandparents within 2 months of each other, in October and Christmas Eve, and like how impactful they were in a lot of our lives, good, bad, and otherwise.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I mean, they watched all of our sports. They came to everything,
Right.
for a long time.
Yep.
Even when I was in college, my sister and I were in college, my grandparents would travel to come watch us play soccer and then
Yep.
argue with me that I scored a goal when I definitely did not.
I love that.
You think about that, and obviously somebody who wanted to be a part of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
his family's life, it wasn't his choice.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's
But
sad.
because
Yep.
someone decided, well, you made a choice and I don't want to be connected to that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, there was one instance, like right before everything really started going on in the house, I had not met his step grandmother
Mhm.
yet. I completely repainted the vanity that was in the bathroom. It was a built-in
Sure.
vanity.
Mhm.
And I opened my makeup drawer and there was a Polaroid. And I was like, where the fuck
Yeah.
did this
sounds
come
like
from?
Movie.
And I could tell it was older.
mhm.
And I took it to Chris. He's like, where did you find that? And I was like, it was in my makeup drawer. He was like, what? He's like, that's.
Mhm.
And I was,
Wow.
well, how in the
Right.
hell?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so little things like that happened
Yeah.
a lot. But Celeste told me, she was like, there's no one stuck in your walls. She said, they might be stuck somewhere, but they're showing themselves here because so many people out. She said, there are so many people out there. I mean, probably a mile up the road, there was a graveyard of over 500 unmarked slaves.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So there's just so much activity. And she, they're all walking around, bumping into each other, like in the dark. They can't see one another. But, I'm like this beam of light, like house, knowing that the headache is me trying to block out 100 people trying to talk to me all the time. So she was saying, pretty much everyone who was in there, except for like Lonnie and Granddad, they were just curious.
Yeah.
There was one who was not very nice to the animals, and I didn't say anything to Celeste about that, and she just said, the guy who kicks the dogs. And because we would just sit there, we'd see, my Boston Terrier. He said, yeah, he had a farm up the street that they just tore down a couple months ago. And he was hanging around there for 50 years. Now you have anywhere to hang around. You just got to assert yourself and tell him to leave. So, I found out a lot of interesting stuff through her, which is really,
that's awesome.
How did you find her? Did Amy set that up?
So she told me how it would happen. She said, don't go with anyone who wants like a kickback to the show, like Amy's information or contact the Dead Files for me. And I was on the Dead Files like fan group page, just kind of looking at it before our show aired, just to see like, do people really watch this? Are they as into it as I am? And someone said, has anyone been on the show? And I responded, I have. However, I can't talk about it right now because my episode hasn't aired yet. And she popped into my inbox. And my profile, you couldn't see anything. And she just starts describing my child's bedroom and where her crib was, where the chair was, where the shaky, she's like, he had Parkinson's disease and, this wasn't aired yet. And dementia, and he scares her at night. And then all these other things, just boop, 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 boop. She's like, why do you have she's like, why are there 4 deer around you right now? And I was like, because I live in the middle of the dang woods and I got 4 deer heads in each corner of my living room. And then there were just questions that I didn't know the answer to. And I would go ask Chris and he'd be like, what's going on? I was like, him. And when she saw this show, she was so pissed. She came down for free.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Just said, let me do a group reading and, people for that as long as I can get my ticket paid for. So she stayed with us for a week and her and I remain really good.
That's amazing.
Really good friends.
That's amazing. Does she live
really
in
cool.
North Carolina? You don't need to.
No, she lives in not Connecticut.
Minnesota. Just kidding.
Maryland.
When someone says
Delaware.
Minnesota,
Vermont.
Vermont. Yep. But when someone says Minnesota, I just have to go, Minnesota.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool though that she came and did that for you.
Yeah.
How amazing.
Yeah. And that you found her that way.
And she even she first got to the house and we were on the deck. She said, there's a little white dog that's bouncing like a bunny. And I said, that would be Blaine Bunny Lane.
Oh.
And she said, well, his older brother, she said, he's the black and white one. In a year, when he goes to the vet and they say, if this doesn't work, bring him back in for blood work. She said, don't bring him back in to say, do it now. I forgot about it. I'm in there getting all his allergy medicine. He's seeing the new vet. She's like, if this doesn't work, I'd like to see him and run a blood panel. And I'm checking out. I'm like, actually, no.
Just
wait
do
a
it
minute.
now.
Wait a minute. I was like, I just remembered. And she came back out. She said, yeah, give me back that allergy medicine. He doesn't have any thyroid function.
Really?
Oh.
Wow.
And my parents, they came down while she was in town and my dad, man, his poker face is good. But his brother passed away, and she nailed it.
Did she?
And
Wow.
just really freaked him out. Yeah. So, and I had already done a phone reading for my second mother before she came to visit. So I had already been blown away by her over the phone. So as we're going around doing the readings in the group, you know, like people are just bawling their eyes out. They're like, Laura, what the hell is wrong with you? And I'm like, no, I'm just like, I'm proving to you. I'm just like, hey, like, look, like she knows this shit that she shouldn't know, you know?
Yeah.
Thing. And it's funny because my grandparents were not good grandparents. And Celeste had already closed my house off. And I was sitting, you know, had big, like huge window behind me. And she was like, your grandparents are standing at the window. They want to talk to you, but then we'd have to redo everything. And I was like, no, tell them to fuck off, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Man, now I want to talk to her.
Yeah, I know.
Like, just individually for myself.
She sounds amazing.
I cannot, I've never been able to, like my great aunt, she was my grandmother and my sisters. And like they could smell her cigarettes. They could feel her around. And I think because of what I do, I can't feel that. And it's like I want to feel my older sister around.
Yeah.
So she's my medium. Yeah.
That's really nice.
That's really nice.
That's sweet. Yeah. She sounds amazing.
She is. I mean, she's everything she's told me. Like I can't tell you things that are going to happen.
Yep.
I'm more of the medium. I'm like, this is what I'm seeing and hearing, and I'm just doing things for people. Where she can be like, hey, you're going to have this meeting, and you're not going to be working there after that because you're going to quit. And I'm like, I never would do that because they're going to have to drag me out of here with a toe tag. And then lo and behold, meeting happens, and I'm like, God damn it, Celeste was fucking right, you know?
Wow, she sounds great.
Yeah.
She does sound amazing.
No
That's a
kidding.
good friend to have.
Yeah.
So I do have one question that one last one for me that to go back to, because you had said before the activity got really like started and that's when you found the picture in the drawer. Do you have an idea of what the catalyst was for the activity to start to escalate?
Liza.
Was it?
My daughter, yeah.
Oh.
It usually is something like that.
Yeah. It was, we ignored it for a long time. We were like, that didn't happen. That didn't just fly off that shelf. It just rolled. But then we had her and things became more yes, I guess in a way aggressive.
Harder to ignore. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was like, you can't ignore that. Like, that just can't happen on its own.
Yeah.
And I remember, you know, I wrote them when, you know, I was telling Steve about that door opening in her playroom.
Holy shit, that scared the shit out of me.
You sure it wasn't the dogs?
Okay, Steve.
Yeah, and
Steve.
that was me and my sister's play table that we had when we were kids. So it was wood. And that was impossible. And that's when I wrote the show. And I just was like, whatever, let's get it right. Blah, blah,
See what
blah.
happens. They'll never pick us.
Yeah, driving home the next day from work, the caller ID says Los Angeles. I'm like, no fucking way. And they said, hey, we actually just got done filming the season. However, we're going to bump someone. Can we add you to the season?
Wow.
Interesting. Now I want to talk to who got bumped and what happened there.
Yeah.
Again, especially after some of the episodes that we saw this year, it was
That made it to the actual podcast.
Okay. We don't. We're all thinking of the one, but we're not going to say it. But we're all thinking it.
Now I gotta watch it now.
It's number
season
12.
5, episode 12.
Called Isolated.
It's with
Okay.
Brittany, and once you watch it, reach out to Amy with your thoughts because you will have thoughts. And
okay, so it was season 12?
Season 15.
Episode 12.
Holy
12.
shit.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's with Cindy not
Cindy
Amy.
Keza, yeah.
Yep.
After Amy had left.
Okay. Yeah, I have her email address, so I will actually reach out to her and see what she thinks.
Let us
So,
know.
Yeah.
And if you
Yeah.
can still contact Amy, tell her we really, 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 really want to talk to her.
She left her Starbucks cup. I kept it for a while.
I love you.
Would too.
I would
would too.
They'd be like, "What is this cup on the counter that's got mold in it?" That's Amy's cup, and
That's Amy's cup. Don't
you
touch.
fucking touch it, or I will cut you.
Yeah, they left a lot of those black tarps in the attic, and then like pieces of tape they had to use when they were doing cuts and stuff. I have all those,
as you should.
And I was like, oh, should I sell these? No, they're too cool.
Yeah.
I thought about selling the Starbucks cup, but I was like, that might be a little too weird.
Only if she found out about it.
Interesting avenue of the internet there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only if she knows. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's only illegal if you get caught. Just kidding.
Nice.
I'm just kidding.
Megan, we're not doing anything illegal right now.
I'm just saying.
Truthfully.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's something in my eye. This is crazy.
All my employees, before I hire them, I say, we're family here, and I'm Polish and Scorpio. And I said, if anyone goes to jail, which would probably be me. I was
just going to say, it'll be you.
Jail, we all bail each other out. I was like, it's cool. Someone's in jail, bail them out because we're a family.
I was going to say, Scorpio, it's going to be you in jail.
Well, let's see. We've got
we're all
two
Libras.
Well,
how it hasn't happened yet, I don't fucking know.
Well,
you
guys are Libras. I'm a Libra Scorpio cusp, and then we have a Scorpio. So we have
Amy. You're also Polish, right?
Yes. Yep.
I'm purebred Polish.
I'm a mutt of Northwestern European, but 25% Polish. My great grandparents on my grandpa's side came over about 100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago. He was born in the States, but I have her pierogi recipe from the old country.
Nice.
Verbal recipe passed down. I have written it. I have written my instructions down for it because it's all by like taste, touch, feel, and it's always every year. It's like,
heart.
Yeah.
I had a signature cocktail made for me at the bar next to my salon.
Oh my God, I love that.
Okay, we're coming to visit.
For sure.
It's for, they said it was for all my haters because on my social media, my name it's Laura M. effing Lane. So cocktail's called Stay in Your Motherfucking Lane.
I love it.
So when I was tasting all the drinks, the bartender had bought pickled Brussels sprouts to do their Bloody Marys with.
Okay.
Everyone else threw them up. My Polish accent was like, this shit is good, Give me the jar.
Well, if you do come up to Minnesota, I'll take you over to Eastern European delicatessen where they've got glumki and pierogi and Polish sausage and kamarczaks. When you walk in, it just
so good.
Smells. And kolaczkis, the fresh baked kolaczkis.
Okay, I'm definitely coming to visit because I have not had good Polish food. God, since Liza was little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just down in the South. I mean, we just have biscuits and they drink this sweet tea
I
stuff.
can't stand sweet tea.
No, it's delicious. I love sweet tea. It's literally just
Too
like
sweet.
my ex-mother-in-law used to make mix a cup of sugar in with her sweet tea.
Oh God, no.
Yep, that's my ex-mother-in-law too. Yep, one whole cup of sugar, and she would never wash the Tupperware thing. And she said she goes, it's seasoned.
Oh,
yep,
that's not how that works.
And then I didn't know what that meant until I got a cast iron pan. And I was like, season what?
Yeah.
What the fucking shit?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, you should come on up in the spring or in the fall.
Or the summer.
Yeah. What part?
We're in Minneapolis.
Cities.
We're in the Twin Cities. Yeah.
In suburbs of Minneapolis.
I flew into there. And then I flew from there to Duluth.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Duluth is pretty.
Duluth is
chilly.
very cold.
I was actually curious if she had been up in Duluth because there was I was like, oh, Duluth, the North Shore, it's gorgeous.
It
I
is.
was just
It's really pretty.
up there not too long ago.
She was the worst driver ever. That's why I had to go up there and drive her ass back down to North Carolina.
Yeah, that's not a good city to not be a good driver in.
But she lived on a hill like this.
Yep.
And then there was the lake and then Wisconsin. Yep. And I was like, in the winter, because she worked from home, I was like, do you just stay at home? Because I could just see you being like, well, I'm going to wing this shit and either take the turn or go see my friends in Wisconsin by boat. You know? She's like, I'm not driving in the winter. I was like, I didn't think so.
I try not to. I have to sometimes, but yuck. No, not a fan.
Yeah.
I will say it is fun when you're up along the North Shore and the lake is just angry and the waves are crashing and they're just like 10 feet, 20 feet tall as they're hitting the rock shore.
I will watch that on TV or something. I don't want to be there.
Well, I sent you guys
Yes,
videos
I've
from
seen
when we were up
Yeah.
there last.
Yeah.
If I were there, because, I'm like Polish and, they say and have bad luck, I wouldn't have any at all.
Oh, God, we have that saying too.
So I would be the one who like, oh my God, first person in 100 years to die from a wave. Yeah, no, that's just my life. So
Oh, fun. Well, I suppose we should wrap it up.
Especially because you're an hour ahead of us. Well, Laura, thank you so much. We have thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes.
Thank you for the time, taking the time to chat with us and for sharing, what you shared. We really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love a good conversation.
So do we.
So
yeah, I'm glad you cleared up that stuff too, because I know we're not the only people who saw it that way. And
everybody did.
It's so
basically wiped out all the questions that I would have had today because I was like, because the episode was cut so differently than reality.
Yeah, I just went back and looked at my list of questions and I'm like, yep, those don't make any sense anymore.
None of these work.
I was like, they probably think a lot of things, and I'm gonna have to be like, actually.
Well,
I'm glad.
I'm glad we got to that right away so that we could really, and I hope that people will.
His memory should not be what the show portrayed it to be.
Right.
And that's really disrespectful.
Chris should also not be portrayed the way that the show portrayed him, because the way that they cut it made it look like he was smirking every time something. Every time that there was something
Chris
racist
was such
talked about.
a jerk, and now
he is. That was all real. That shit was the only real thing that they showed. He did not want to do it.
Yeah. But it was like every time they talked about like something racist, they showed him with a smirk on his face, or like they showed him.
It was the same actually. If it's the same clip.
Yeah.
So after each scene that you do, you have to stand there and you have to move your hands around, and you have to, just like on TikTok it went viral, where if you counted 21 to a rap song, it looked like you were rapping. That's what we did. We would move our hands and we would count back and forth to each other's 21, and they could do anything and put it there. So there's so many moments where where I was like, I say that there, but it looks like,
but that's the way that they cut it. So like that was one of the things that's like, is he just thinking? I mean, obviously he didn't want to be there. His body language said he was like, I'm here because my kid, and he did say that, but. I think that the way that they cut it then compared to how you say he is they did him dirty as well.
Yeah. Well, the part where everyone's like, damn, he looks like an asshole, is he did something like this, and I looked at him like I was getting in trouble or something. But what really happened was we didn't tell any of them that it was his grandfather's house.
It was.
And when Amy brought that up, I didn't know what
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I didn't know what to do, I turned into like a 4-year-old who's sick and needs to go home from school, but is too scared to ask the teacher. And I started. So I did that because I didn't know what to do. And then I started crying.
Sounds like they did everybody dirty in this show.
And it was, I mean, even in one spot, like when Amy's like, duh, you have abilities and you admitted to it, the way that they cut it must have been around that same time when you guys had looked at each other, because it looked like he pulled away from you, and it was like, man, that's so rude.
Yeah, that is where that happened, because I was like, I knew it. I saw in my head, like I said, I see it in flashcards. I already knew what the drawing was going to be.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there only the one drawing? Okay,
Yes.
because I know some people have said that there was more than one. We actually interviewed a sketch artist from one of the episodes, and he said he actually had done 2 drawings, but only one of them made it to the show.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. So.
But there was only one, and we did ask to keep it, but
they
didn't
didn't
let
you. Yeah, they don't let people keep them from what we've heard.
And they don't even let the sketch artist keep them.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, I kept the battery to one of those cameras that they left, and those are cheap. So,
So there.
You stuck it to them.
there. Yep. That was my thought. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm feeling in.
I like it.
I love it. All right. Well,
So great.
we'll let you go. But thank you so much for joining us. This was a lot of fun.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah, and we'd love to chat with you again, or
Yes.
meet up with you here and take you to Kremarchuk's.
Yeah, or if you guys ever want to like come down where you know what real humidity is and
Jumping
I
spiders.
have been to North Carolina a few times.
I've been to
One time they were all
Charlotte.
parked on the road because it had snowed a couple of inches.
Oh yeah, they can't handle snow.
North Carolina is mountains,
Yeah.
rolling hills, and then plains and beach. So when I moved from Greensboro to here, the humidity was so different. I had to relearn how to do here.
Yep.
So
All right. Well, thank you, Laura. Have a
thank you, ladies. I had a fun
Good,
time.
good.
Us too.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll keep in
Yes.
touch. Okay.
all right. Thank
All
you.
right.
I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Bye.
Bye. If you're a regular listener, you know we love our 3 Spirit drinks.
They are the non-alcoholic spirit drinks that are taking the world by storm.
3 Spirit is a range of 3 distinct drinks, each with its own unique flavor and effect.
The Livener is a refreshing and invigorating drink that is perfect for starting your day or night.
The Social Elixir is a smooth and sophisticated drink that's perfect for sharing with friends.
And the Nightcap is a calming and relaxing drink that's perfect for winding down before bed.
All 3 drinks are made with plant-based ingredients and are free from alcohol, gluten, and sugar. They are also vegan and ethically sourced.
So, whether you're looking for a delicious and refreshing drink to enjoy on its own, or a sophisticated non-alcoholic alternative to cocktails, 3 Spirit is the perfect choice for you.
Try 3 Spirit today and discover the difference. Visit us.3spiritdrinks.com and use the promo code The Activity Continues for 15% off your entire order.
Cheers!
That one
That
was
was a
the
good
best
cheer.
one yet.
All right. Ready?
Ready.
Wesley's at my feet right now, and so this will be fun.
I got Vivi behind me.
Yeah.
I have nobody. Marshy's afraid. No,
I bet.
he should be.
After setting himself on
Well,
fire.
John
you
didn't
learn
notice.
some, you burn some.
And we're
It's
not
probably good.
telling him. Yeah,
Nah, it's
because
probably best.
he hates candles already. So
Oh.
that would just be fuel for the fire.
Oh, that reminds I forgot to start my thing. Go ahead.
What
I
are
just
you
forgot
doing,
to start
child?
my incense.
Nobody.
What?
You guys, that was a good one.
What?
Nobody was listening.
God, you guys, I'm wasting my best jokes on you.
You're wasting all your talents with us.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, John already hates candles, and that would just be fuel for his fire.
Oh, I did hear it. I just didn't put it together that it was a joke.
Wow.
Sorry.
Need to work on it.
That's
then.
my fault. That's my fault. That's on me.
All right. Ready, folks?
Ready, Freddy.
All righty.
That's all right. We'll just wait for her and we can chit chat while we're waiting because I think we're ready to go.
School spirits, anybody? Holy fucking shit. Holy shit. I
Welcome to-
literally had
welcome
Amy,
to the
you should
club.
have seen the messages Amy,
I'm
Megan
sure.
was sending to me. It was hilarious.
I had to call her after it ended.
Yeah,
and
she even called me.
I did. You said it was okay.
It was okay.
Yes, see, I
was okay.
prefaced that. But oh my God, every day, like not every day, every episode, I'm like, no, it's for sure that one.
Yeah.
And then the real,
Yeah.
oh my
No,
God.
Megan, did you ever watch Broadchurch?
No.
Okay, you need to go watch Broadchurch.
Never even heard of it.
It's a BBC.
Is it?
It's
I do love BBC.
David Tennant. David Tennant is in
I
it.
love
And
him.
Olivia Colman.
I don't know who she is.
She was in The Crown. She was one of the queens in The Crown.
You'll know her if you see her. She's in a lot of stuff.
But this was out, gosh, I watched it when I was at Kelly's old house when they were northeast. So it was like 2015, 2016. No, 2014, 2015 when I watched it. But I watched the whole season in a weekend. But if
I
you
watched
want,
it all Saturday.
Yeah.
if you want a show that really gets you to be like completely convinced every single episode, even more so than School Spirits. Like the way that they weave the story, you get so like, oh, it had to be this person.
Mhm.
It's a small town in England. I can't remember what town it is, but there's cliffs and a preteen teenage kid is found at the bottom of the cliffs. It is a cliff area where people do jump off to die by suicide.
Mhm.
However, it is likely by his placement and his body condition that he did not jump.
Oh my God. I'll have to look into that, but holy shit, that was a really good show.
Yeah.
That I really hope they do a season 2. They have to. They set it up. How do
Yeah.
you not do a season 2
Okay.
after that?
But Midnight Club was supposed
was
to do a season 2 and got
Yeah.
canned. So there's so many loose ends.
Oh, that made me so angry because I love that show.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, it's really good.
It's
Well,
It
now I
might be
don't
too
wanna watch
scary
it.
for you.
Oh,
It
yeah,
might be too scary for you.
it's part of
It's a Mike Flanagan one.
yeah, thank you. I was like, what the fuck's his name?
Haunting in Hill House and all that.
Ooh.
Yep.
Mm-mm,
Oh, by the
no.
way, Dawn really likes all those shows, but she didn't really care for Bly Manor. But
Oh, really? You know what? I didn't either the first time I saw it, but when I saw it again, I loved it.
because they didn't do a good enough job separating that Hill House and Bly Manor were supposed to be two completely different stories with
Yeah.
the same characters
Same
or
actors,
same actors. Sorry,
different characters. Yeah.
Yep. They didn't do a good enough job separating that where Hill House is jumpy, Bly Manor is creepy, like things creep in the background. Like,
Oh,
is it
yeah.
Gracie behind you right now? If she starts moving, then that's what you would see in Bly Manor. Things creeping in the
Ooh.
background. I love it. It's a gothic
too.
romance. I bawled the last episode the first
Oh,
time
yeah.
around.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
Hmm. And yeah, School Spirits has those qualities.
So good.
Yeah.
It was so good. I literally, I texted Amy at like 2 or something. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start it. And then I finished it at 11.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I just went right through.
I did most of it in one day.
It was
And
just
then
so
I-
good.
Finished it. Greg and I watched it like all in maybe
And I like that
3
it wasn't
days.
like your angsty, like teenage drama. Like
Yeah.
those are so overplayed.
Right.
Yeah,
And the kids were smart. I mean,
Yeah,
and the
they
writing
were.
was smart.
It
You know,
was-
it wasn't meant for
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
Well-
it was really good. And the character development. And oh my God.
Yeah.
well,
Like
and
I
the
started
way
out
that
loving Nicole, and then by towards the end, I'm like, what a fucking bitch.
Mhm. Definitely the you don't have the whole like romance is the driving part of this.
Yes.
Like it's in the background. And the football player, that's Cameron Manheim's son.
Why does that name sound familiar?
She's in Ghost Whisperer.
Yep. She's in a lot of other things too.
She was
Yep.
in the practice with all
Yep.
the earrings.
Yes. Yep.
I love her.
But now,
Yeah,
like,
I
if you
do
go
too.
back and you see pictures of him, you can totally
Yes.
see her.
he was
but
so
He
cute.
was so cute.
Wally.
I
love
know.
Wally. When he
But what's
danced
it-
at the dance, when he
Oh,
was
I
dancing
know.
to Joe Jackson.
I know.
Yes. And but what was great about that is like he was an 80s jock or whatever, and he was
Mhm.
just so innocent
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to so many things. Even, like you've got your 60s,
Yes.
and everything. And I didn't like the teacher from the get-go, by the way.
Mr. Martin.
Yep. I didn't like him.
He was super sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was kind of indifferent. I mean, I did kind of like him, but the more and more he deflected off of Janet, the more and more I'm like, this isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, it was just so good.
Yeah. It was.
I still haven't finished Shadow and Bone.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good season. It wasn't, I thought first season was better,
Yeah.
but that's just because I just felt like the romance between Mal and what's her face just got like,
Alina.
yeah, just
It overtook.
it overtook. And that's
Yeah.
why I liked when they were with the crows more during
Mhm.
the season, because it
But then
just
you also have like a little bit of a romance between Kaz and Inej.
right. But that one was more like hidden, where
Yeah.
they weren't talking to each other versus the broody, sulky, kind of thing.
I just don't know. I have to be in the right mindset to finish a show, especially when I know it's not continuing. So I don't know.
There's several of those ones on Netflix that I'm like, what? Why did we cancel this?
That's how I feel about Alphas from the Sci-Fi. I loved that show, and they canceled it after only one season. And I'm like, why? It was
No,
so good.
I think I told you about the Magicians. I loved that one,
Yes.
but they wrapped that up really quick. But that I think had 5 seasons.
That's a good amount,
Oh,
though.
yep.
That's a good amount of seasons.
But the last season, because they knew they were wrapping it, was really you get that
Rushed.
rushed feeling.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
like that. But, it
was
is what it is. Drop Dead Diva. I liked that. I
Oh, that
watched
was such a cute show.
I watched the
Yep.
last episode not knowing it was the last episode,
Oh,
but that was a good one. That was
Yeah.
I loved that with Jane.
yeah.
mhm.
So cute.
And now
Yeah.
And I
she's in Sweet Magnolias.
I've
Oh.
seen her as like a supporting actress in a few things.
Oh, she's one of the lead. Like, there's
she?
a trio of 3 leads in
Nice.
Sweet Magnolias.
She oh, I totally just lost my train of
And the
thought,
gal
so-
from Reba, the daughter from Reba.
Oh,
But-
Cheyenne.
Yep. But they try to make these women like they're all supposed to be the same age, and like one is still really trying to have a child, but they're obviously in their mid 40s, but they're trying to make them like late 30s.
Oh, yeah.
And
Come on now.
like,
There's enough actresses in their 30s that you could get somebody to play an actress who's in their 30s.
and I do
Yes.
like the actor. I do like the actresses. They could have just
Right.
wrote the story a little bit differently.
Yeah. Or if those are the people you have in mind, then
Yep.
write it for their age.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. She's here.
She's here.
It's happening. Sorry.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media and is part of the independent Collected Sounds podcast network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.